Hey there, it's the host of the Machine of Nonsense, and I forgot to record my part of the audio for this episode. My mic, whatever, it doesn't matter. But so there's very little of me in this episode. Maybe that'll be good for all of you. I think Mike, Tomas, and Kayla provided enough that you get the idea of this game. We talked for a good 2.5 hours about Metal Gear, and that was just half of the game that we were talking about. So I think you get all of the context. You get a lot of really good opinions from them, and I've done some voiceover work to make it all work. But you'll probably like it a bit better because you don't have to hear as much from me, and it all still should make a lot of sense. But enjoy. So let's jump right into it. In part one, we got in through the first sniper fight, the sniper wolf fight, and right after that, you get to traverse the corridor and you get captured, and that leads to the kind of infamous torture scene. We get some insight into Ocelot and everything. How did that go for you guys?
Okay, so it depends on how you hit it. So, context for when I went through the torture scene, I was out of town, staying at somebody else's house. It was probably about like 7:30 in the morning. Nobody was awake, and I was on a top floor of an old, like, wooden house, so all the floors creaked. So, like, I couldn't go too hard in the paint, you know. Like, I literally did like the first. As I was laying in bed with Jackie at first, so like I did the first torture scene and like the first like section of it, and she was like, "What the hell are you doing? Why is the bed like vibrating furiously?" No, but
can you handle one more?
Here we go again. But yeah,
we get a glimpse into Ocelot's, like,
statism,
kinkier sides here.
Yeah,
he loves torturing people.
Him. Yeah, he kills like everybody he tortures except for Snake. So maybe they're just you could die too. The DARPA chief.
So did we all survive it?
I did.
So Kayla had a really mistimed injury. We were taking our cats to the vet, and we had to wrangle them all up, and one of them bit the shit out of her and messed up her hand pretty good. So I had to grab the sticks and get this one going. And then there's Kayla showing you the damage done there.
I've had that before. Yeah.
So I think you just have to get through 2 waves.
It's only just 2 of them, unless you keep fucking around and not figuring out how to get out.
That happened to me. I messed up the thing. I did the thing right, and the guard came inside, but I was trying to fight him, and he just dipped out. I don't know. So I was like locked in again, and I had used my ketchup.
I will say that's happened to me in the past.
And then so it's like, all right, Snake, Ocelot's ready for you. That third one, I almost made it through. And it was, if I would have had like an extra pip of health, I think I would have made it through. But it was very, very difficult. So I luckily I saved at the point. Yeah, and I was just able to redo it. But because he says, like, I know if you'll be using turbo settings,
yeah.
And my GameCube controllers do have a turbo option, and I was trying to figure that out, but I couldn't get that to work. So I was gonna try to see like how long can we keep this up, Ocelot?
It's sadist.
But yeah, so this is like the point in the game where if you mess this up, it changes something later on, which I never knew for a long time.
Neither did I.
Because I always failed this part. Meryl will die at the end. Yeah,
Meryl will not be the one you ride off into the sunset with.
yeah.
You'll be riding with your boy Otacon.
And it changes which special item you get. You get the stealth camouflage if you fail.
Mm.
You get the infinite ammo bandana if you complete
Yep.
it. I was wondering if any of us was going to get the bad ending, but
that was true.
We're great.
I knew how to get the good ending, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna go canon. But as a child, when playing this game before, I've gotten both endings, and I never, I never knew what gave me the different ending though until like I was way older. Like I just like, oh man, like I ride off with Meryl into the sunset this time, or oh cool, I get to bro out with Otacon this time.
Yeah,
it's like he gives you like that caveat, like your girl is still alive.
Yeah. And the game does another weird meta thing here where Ocelot tells you no more continues. And if you haven't saved in a long time, you can get really screwed over here.
Like
if you
hard
die,
fucked.
Because it'll go, regular Metal Gear Solid, and it just says exit. It does not give you.
It doesn't give you a continue. Yeah.
It kicks you all the way back to the main menu, and
Just automatically saves, doesn't it?
right. Because usually if you die, it says continue or exit. So continue takes you back to an autosave, but if you go to exit, that autosave is erased and it goes.
I see.
You're using your hard save at that point. Just another one of them thing like where Kojima's just giving you some fourth wall breaking kind of stuff.
He's cooking.
So I wanted to ask you, Kayla, in this section there's another decent bit of like exposition, and they make reference to like, oh, Decoy Octopus has some part in this, and like the DARPA chief's been dead for longer than you think and all that. Did you catch any of that?
It didn't make sense. Like you said, it doesn't really make a lot of sense when you're first doing it. But I mean, you're like, how does that happen? How long have we been here? It's not really clear how long you've been here either.
I think at the beginning of the game they tell you like you literally just have that day to get this
right.
done. So
that did come back to me.
Yeah. So like when Snake's like knocked out, it's probably for like 15 minutes, half hour or something.
Right. I think that puzzle to escape though is still pretty neat. Like just
there's multiple ways too. Like you don't have to do the catch up. Yeah, you just hide under the bed. I think you can annoy the guard enough to get him to, shut you up at a certain point.
I've done that in the past too. Yeah, we just keep knocking, and he's like,
shut up in there, will you? Like, shut up. Oh, quick question.
Yeah.
Did Kayla get blown up?
In the claymores?
No. The Ocelot leaves a bomb in your inventory.
Oh.
I think if you make it to the snowfield, you get a call that says like, Snake, there's something in your inventory. Get rid of it.
Yeah, Deep Throat gives you a drop. It's that thing that says 300 seconds on it. They did it in Metal Gear 2 also. Like there's another, but it doesn't blow up. What it does is it alerts enemies to your presence in every room until you drop it. So, yeah. So, little callback.
Did everyone get the body armor?
Yes. You're going a little bit further.
Well, no, it's right. This is where you can get it, right? Because
I thought it was
you have to go up to the Nikita missile section to get it. Because if you don't get it now, I don't think you can come back.
No, you can get it somewhere. Yep.
Oh, I got it right now. Like I got it right after.
You can get it in the foundry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where I always got it. Mike, you're blowing my mind. But this goes back to the Metroidvania-ness of the game.
Mm-hmm. So I knew. I'm like, I got a level 6 now. Because you
can get
where you come out, the torture room is connected in to a room where you probably would have thought like, oh, I wonder what's going to be behind that door. It's next to the holding cell.
It's like way back where you first met the DARPA chief, or was it the DARPA chief? He could look like anybody. I mean, that's his job.
I remember being very disappointed when you don't get to fight Decoy Octopus because it the beginning tells you all the people.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like, oh man, that's a cool ability that guy has. I wonder what that fight's going to be like. And then it never happens.
Nope.
But yeah, we're just trying to get back to that Sniper Wolf hallway fight.
Hallway again, yeah.
Yeah.
Go underneath the glacier. There's like a few things here that like you got to dig into. Like there's you got the broken elevator. You got the quick exit that you can open up later with if you C4 the door.
Yeah.
And then this is a classic Metal Gear trope that started in Metal Gear 2, running up the stairs kind of shit. So you had to do that in Metal Gear 2 also. There's a bridge between the two buildings. It would have been easier for you to get from one building to the other if it wasn't, because you know how you got to like jump down the building with the rope? Well, you jump down and you're right in front of that door that you could have just walked through on the stairs to go across the bridge to get to the other building.
It just becomes your only way to backtrack.
I mean,
to get that body armor.
Get that body armor.
Trying to hurry.
So I
like it.
You guys tried to gun down. You guys were in a firefight for the stairs. It's Stun Grenade City.
Stun Grenade City. Yep. Absolutely. So it's stun grenades on one building, and then it's chaff grenades on the other building.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's okay. So you don't need bullets to take down a hind D. It's kind of blurred together. You got two buildings. Like I just said, it's like one, it's people chasing you, and then the other one, it's cameras. It's like kind of the same thing. And then, you got a hind D blowing you up on one side, and then you got to fight the hind D on the other side. It gets a little mixed-meshed in this part. Not a lot of exposition dump either. It's just like Snake doing his thing. You mentioned, action kind of stuff. Like, this is Snake just being John Rambo, pretty much.
This is Snake and Liquid's first real interaction.
Yes.
I think. And Liquid's kind of like alluding that they are brothers, and this is kind of the first time. Yeah, right. Snake's like, why? Stop calling me that, like, you fucking weirdo. Yeah, they allude to it a few times because even Meryl's like, you looked like him. Like, I thought you were a bad dude.
Can't make out anything on any of these people, please. Let's just use our imagination.
This is where the Kodak portraits at the end. I think you really get to see, like, they're very identical.
That
facial structure.
That part is where the art is, but
it's okay. They're stringing you along for now because it's like, why do you keep calling me brother?
Right.
Yeah. And I also thought this is where we fight him. I remember, like, where's the stinger? Where is it? I'm trying to find it, and it's
at the top of the other building.
I finally I feel like I've missed a ton of codec calls because I don't need to call anyone for the most part. This part is where I'm like, all right, Campbell, give me something. He's like, Snake, get on the wall over there and use the rope. I'm like, oh, all right.
If you miss the rope at the bottom of that staircase,
that's possible, huh?
It is. It's like it's right there to your left before you start ascending.
Right. How did you guys do with the rappel section? Because I was like barely any rations. I had like 1/2 bar of health, and I had to make it down this wall. Okay.
Same here. Yeah. I had like the littlest like fraction of health left when I got down there.
I think I hit every steam vent.
Same here.
On the way down.
I am
at least on the left. I just stayed on one side basically and just hit every
pretty much the same. It's like, let's just fucking mull through this, eat my rations, and jump down this building. I think I know about.
Sometimes you got to race, Sometimes you just
fuck it. I got rations.
Hell yeah!
Well, we're skipping that shitty bridge with those fuckers.
Just shoot a Nikita missile down.
Well, yeah, but I didn't remember they were there, and this is where the camera really fucks you because you're walking down this long bridge connecting the two communication towers, and these guys are fucking eagle. They got scopes or some shit because they are firing at you as soon as you hit like halfway, and you're kind of screwed at that point. I just kind of died and reloaded and knew like I'm pulling it. I sniped them. I had fun and just kind of headshot.
Oh, nice! I didn't even think.
And
well, I knew there was another sniper fight coming up, so
they got like Bowser rules. It's like 3 or 4 hits, no matter what, to kill him. So yeah, but this section's like it's really dense. It doesn't. There's not a lot of breathing room. You're going like building chase, like Tomas said, straight to the rappel part, the weird bridge thing. Climbing up the other tower, just chucking chaff grenades.
You're not so secrety and sneaky now. You're fucking.
This is building.
They know you're here, and they're after you.
Yeah, this is Solid Snake, the legend. Like he is the ultimate soldier. This is why. Like,
but this is what the series is kind of known for, like just switching up what you're doing. Like all the time, and I always thought that rappel section was pretty cool.
Yeah,
just another thing that I'd never really seen in a game before, besides like Spider-Man, like being able to climb up the buildings and stuff. But
this whole section,
by like 2 years. So
this whole section, like, is just a fucking action movie. Like, fucking. Yeah, it's super Die Hard.
All through vents.
Fucking storming Nakatomi Plaza. Fucking jumping off the side of a building with a fucking fire escape, a hose.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, the helicopter being taken down on the roof of a fucking building. Fucking.
Yeah. This
now
Kojima, we know, like wanted to just be a director and a movie director instead of this
video game director.
This is the game where he just lays that all out there.
Oh yeah, this ain't the first time you've taken down a helicopter in this series either. That's day one Metal Gear.
That fight sucks. God,
it does. Well, no, in the old one you could just fucking stand on the side of it and throw fucking grenades at it without getting hit. That's how you beat the
first one. It's very like 2D, like the helicopter's right in front of you kind of boss fight.
Just don't go in front of it. You're good. The Metal Gear 2 one is you have to use your radar to see where it's at and then launch missiles at it, which was a little bit cooler.
Yeah, it's a cool fight. It's the sound. You kind of have to go by sound.
The sound design in this fight is really good.
Yeah, just it's the sound of that hind D, like that. Whoosh, like just it's ascending. It's constantly changing elevation and dipping out of sight and coming back in, flying far away for those huge missile strikes that it's going to do.
Oh yeah,
very cool stuff. Very cool.
This fight was like peak for me when I first played this game, like because your boy Otacon like rizzes you the fuck up too before you get out on the roof. He's like, I got a helicopter to take care of. It's like, you're gonna take down a helicopter? Like fucking.
Right. Yeah.
And then you do it, and then you're like, yo, that's why I'm the dude.
Yeah. Otacon does. He's like, you blew up a helicopter? That's amazing. He's like,
it's like for me, it was Tuesday.
Right. They're walking the park. This is where like the disbelief kind of really takes another notch because it's like, man, I gotta hit this helicopter with 20 missiles. Like,
hell yeah, dude. Why the fuck not, bro?
Playing games like Battlefield and stuff later, you understand how brittle a fucking helicopter is.
Yeah. It's literally made out of paper mache. But right. It's the Deus Ex Machina missile launcher at the end of every Resident Evil game. It's that one that, just that one extra, RPG that just blows the fuck up out of the zombie,
One direct hit, right? Yeah. And they do kind of they tell you that Liquid is like an amazing pilot. Like they hype that up a bit. So I guess that does make sense that he could like,
fucking maneuver
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that hind D move, bro? Like, he's swooping all over the place.
He's excited about it, that's for sure.
But I mean, like, I know it's a video game. I know it's supposed to be like semi-grounded in like reality, given the story that like the narrative it is. But like by the end of the day, I think I'm just the coolest motherfucker on the planet behind the steering wheel, shooting missiles at this fucking helicopter. You know, it's like maybe it's made out of titanium, so heavy that it shouldn't be able to fly, but it can take 20 Stinger missiles. And I'm the guy for the job, you know.
But the game doesn't let up after this part. We get a call from Otacon saying, you know, that freight elevator is up and running now. That wasn't earlier. And we might think we're going to just take a nice, easy elevator ride.
Nope.
Then we get another call because Otacon's been using this cool stealth tech to sneak around. And he's like, man, we had 5 of these total, and I was going to go get one for you, but all 4 of them were gone.
You know what I'm doing, Mike?
Yes, and we get another like weird change in the character animation for the Kodak because we get this up close, like very panicked Otacon. Like, so you know, whoever stole those 4 prototypes are in that elevator with you.
Wow.
And you have to fight just 4 invisible dudes.
Too late, Snake. Much easier fight. But
yeah, these dudes in this elevator do not like to die. they have
they could take a lot of FAMAS rounds, bro.
Yeah, for sure. And by this point, we can hold like 700.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like literally just stand in the middle and just go spin around. Okay, now this is another Metal Gear 2 first. I just feel like I got to point those out every time they come up. Like this game is literally just everything Kojima wanted to do on the previous hardware, but couldn't.
Yeah.
Literally a boss fight in Metal Gear 2 where you have to fight 4 guys on an elevator.
I like when they do have that weight limit rule, and it's like, oh, you got to take out these enemies. There's too many. The elevator stops. Like you have to keep this thing light in order to finish the level. But
good concept.
This is a good one for sure.
You're just walking out in this beautiful open snowfield, and then all of a sudden you see a scope up on you, and then you're like, fucking do a backflip.
That transition to Sniper Wolf scope worked really well.
That was so cool.
I think that stuff's really neat.
So cinematic, so fun. And this is where we learn whether or not love could bloom on the battlefield.
I like the low poly look, but this is where it does a really huge disadvantage is the romantic parts of the game. It tries later on too to have like, you know, this like heartfelt kind of moment between 2 characters, and it just doesn't work when the faces are cardboard. Like, and I honestly don't think this stuff worked until like Naughty Dog with Last of Us and Uncharted 4, where they really could just convince you that these 2 characters love each other or something, you know, or like that to really trick me at least. So that's like 20-year gap right there. So,
oh man,
I've been kind of quiet over here because it may be an unpopular opinion on this podcast, but I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't buy much of it. The only things story-wise that I do like are like the action and tactical stuff. The love stuff, the relationship stuff is cringe. It's super cringy for me. I want to cut that out of it and push all that aside.
Otacon's definitely I'm a nice guy. You need to like me because I'm a nice guy.
Isn't that motherfucker building the Metal Gear?
He's not building it. He built it.
right. Like you built this weapon, like the weapon taking down everything.
Otacon seems like a supreme naive, like borderline Asperger's type.
Yeah, no, he's
socially awkward. Like
he's got some kind of ism. Like there's got to be something going on there other than just, you know, he's counting toothpicks when you drop them on a restaurant floor.
You let me feed your wolves. We're married.
You wouldn't know her. She lives in Canada, Eric.
Yeah. How'd you guys do with that fight? Like, Did you guys just use the thermal?
Yeah, it took a while though. Takes a while.
Took me 2. I died the first time, and then I remembered how to pin her to one side of the field.
Oh, we didn't do that.
Yeah. So
Did
I
you
was
blow
like,
up that snow pile or something?
no, if you get her to the left, like where she can like hide behind like a tree in the snow pile, but you keep the tree just within enough visibility that you can see her breath coming out of it, she's like kind of forced to come out of there. So you just wait for her to come out and tag her as she goes back and forth between like those 2 trees. And
Did we all just use the thermal goggles?
I did not use thermal goggles.
no.
I never used the thermal goggles for that.
That fight's tough without it. I remember
It is.
trying to do it.
Finding her the
time I
first
did it,
time.
and keeping just her visibility is so shitty. Like it's hard to keep track of her without them. But with the thermals, it's like, oh, you're right there. Like
There she is. Yeah. I played hard mode, I guess. No, I mean the game even tells you snipers usually work in pairs, so you know, it's like one guy's literal job is just to tell you where to shoot. So
yeah.
But I mean that, like I said, you know, it's like we talk about, you know, I mentioned the devil's advocate thing, and you know, we also mentioned how, you know, Kojima sucks at writing a love story. So it's like, you know, Otacon, simp, big simp energy, first incel. But yeah, it's like, I mean, I was still there for like, I felt sorry kind of for Sniper Wolf, you know, even though she blasted Meryl like 3 times. But, you know, like all these characters are meant to be tragic. Since like day one, like all these people who've been on, you know, Big Boss's side and all this shit, you know, it's like they're not there because it was their first choice. You know, even like Gray Fox, he was there because he was found in the remnants of like the bombing of Outer Heaven. And they're like, it's like, hey, bro, it's like, you got nowhere to go? Come hang out with me, bro. I'll give you a job. You know, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, victims of circumstances. You know, does it give them the right for, you know, murdering people? Probably not. But they're mercenaries, soldiers for hire. And we can get into the deep lore of like this whole entire universe, but you know.
And like, I don't know. Not all stories need love stories in them.
That's true too.
Either like,
it felt shoehorned.
Just stick to the tactical espionage of it, and I'm in.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll get more into that. But I mean, it's like the analogy. Can Die Hard 1 exist without Holly Gennaro? I mean. She's there because he needs to get to LA somehow, but like doesn't need the love story between John McClane to do what he still does after that.
Well, really, Otacon just kind of gets to be the emotional like release valve of the series, kind of, and I think it works more so later on in the series than
yeah, I'll give you that.
Right,
but we're talking right now, baby.
This was my first multiple disc game, and this is you enter a staircase, and then you get the insert disc 2, and the collection does a pretty cool little animation of a disc changing. It gives you an illusion of what it was like.
Kind of cool.
I kind of want to look into that. Maybe just Rex needed a whole disc, basically.
Could have been, but there's a huge tonal shift in the game, like from that point forward too. It's like you get like they give you like all the pieces now. Like all the gaps that you've had are just slowly like spoon fed to you in the narrative and the exposition. So
before you left the snowfield, did you guys notice the level 7 door?
Yes, I went back for it.
And you'd realize there was nothing in there.
There's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing worth grabbing back there, but I went back there.
I looked it up because I'm like, do I really want to go back there? And everyone was like posting like, nah, it's just ammo.
Well, I went back too because there's a lot of good grenades that you can stock up on out there. And
it's very important. Yeah.
We're talking later on. Yeah, you fucking need that shit. So
But yeah, we get to the Terminator 2 foundry.
That's so
section.
good.
Lava.
I failed.
I forgot. Like, if you don't know, then yeah, you can get hit by the fucking crane thing.
Yeah, the crane thing got me because I thought you could I thought you had more control over that part. I thought you could just duck on the fly and keep I thought there was more fluidity to that. There is not. But where I really fucked up was I really needed rations later on. And I was trying to get as many rations as I could. And there's that one ration right before the exit of the foundry that's right on a little creepy step that easily fall down on. And then I found out okay, equipping the box makes it way easier to just creep on. Your movement's just different enough to make it easier to grab that ration. Cause I fell in that, in the molten fucking magma, multiple times.
Get good, Mike. I went 0 melts. So a 0 melt playthrough.
Yeah.
If you look really close, does he give a thumbs up as he's falling in? It's low poly. Yeah.
I wonder how they know they just have Snake's vitals on a screen or something. Because Mei Ling she knows something terrible's happened.
They got all those nanos in him, man.
Right.
They got my boy plugged up with nanos and shit. They know exactly what he's doing. They could follow him at all.
You would assume that shit is just gone.
Immediately goes.
Quickly, when he falls into.
Yeah. Just cuts out. Yep. That's horrifying.
Gotcha.
Seeing without seeing is such an effective tool in horror, man. It's fucking.
But once we get past this little bullshit part, there's just the game is just full of bullshit after this part because it's just I'm gonna hide mines here. Yeah,
Claymore's blocking the ration that you so desperately need before you go in the elevator.
Right, and then it's we're also gonna put a gun camera around every fucking corner so you get shot constantly. Yeah. It's Dark Souls solid at this point, and it's bullshit.
Yeah,
and I
just good, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of it is because they know you're going to be going back through these areas, so it's we're going to fuck you up on the first through, but you got to remember this shit, on the way back and the way back because as we get a little bit further, we'll find out. This ain't the first time we're going through the foundry.
But so you guys got the body armor there? You had to crawl through the same part to get that?
The same parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
The game,
I just went through there and just man, this place sucks. It's just ammo. Why did I go through it?
So I got the thermal goggles later than most of you guys too, and you just find them somewhere else. I forget where, but
it's cool that the game does that.
Throws you a couple bones.
Have you guys ever used the fast travel part of the boxes?
I did back in the day. I've never. There's multiple boxes.
One will say heliport to snowfield to storage building. So if you go in a truck in a box, the truck will drive away and it'll take you to.
So that's another callback to OG Metal Gear 2. So Metal Gear 1, you just get into the trucks and truck is moving, and then you go somewhere else. But in Metal Gear 2, they had 3 different types of boxes as well, and then you get onto a back of a truck and it fucking transport you around different places too. All right, so elevator.
Yeah.
I think people are wearing body armor at this point in the game.
Yeah. A lot of bullets. A lot of bullet shed.
No exposition dump. No exposition dump on this first elevator ride, right? This one. Yeah, you're going down and then you start seeing ravens. Caw. It's freezing outside. Super ominous.
Do we get a call from Master Miller here?
I think that's on the next ride up. Or is it? I forget because you go back and forth on this and Naomi's character starts getting put into question, I think, at this point. Former FBI and they.
Yeah.
They start talking about the whole like mafia trials and stuff.
One of Master Miller's points is J. Edgar Hoover, a known racist, would never hire a Japanese.
He's not wrong, though. He's not wrong. We saw it, dude.
I remember Naomi having her own codec call.
She talks to you personally, but that's later on. Okay. After I think they take her into confinement for questioning and stuff, and you get a little bit more about what the hell's actually going on with this field exercise.
I guess I just remember her having her own her own direct line to her.
No, I think she patches through the colonels to talk to you. Yeah, they're like in the same.
Yeah, she's in the war room or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't trust Master Bro either. Like, no.
Oh, good call.
I thought, especially like, I don't know if this is the call or it's right before where he is like, oh, none of the stuff she said makes sense. It's like, all right, well, none of the stuff you've said has made sense either. Like, where have you been? I thought, what?
I think it's less effective not knowing Master Miller as a character because he was pretty involved in Metal Gear 2, the prior game. He's kind of like the dude who ends up training you. Like, he's your main guy. Like, if you get deeper into the Metal Gear lore dump, you know, you got kind of like two opposing sides, you know. But he's an important character. But you know nothing about him in this game if you lived in America. So,
yeah.
Like, put the cart in front of the horse on that one.
Like, not a part of the operation is just calling me up and a part of the operation now. Like, it just seems
he's a dude though, but like he's
sniffed that one out, Kayla. Yeah, for sure.
He's former Foxhound. He's a very important character, but you don't know that.
He's like when Thor pops back up in MCU, kind of. I'm here. All right, okay, come on in, buddy.
I don't think I like or trust any of these characters. Not a one.
You're very smart. You're very smart.
You're very smart. Yeah.
Not Snake. None of them.
Everybody in this game has their own motives.
But every 11-year-old boy who played this game trusted all of these characters.
I did until the fucking Tharn became unraveled.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Vulcan Raven. Whoa.
Yeah. My very first time fighting him, I only thought to use Nikita.
That's so hard.
Yeah. And then on subsequent playthroughs, I'm like, okay, Stinger's the way to go. And then Claymores, because it's basically like a huge Pac-Man board that you're fighting him on. Just huge storage containers, creating rows and columns to walk through. And you are trying to avoid Vulcan Raven. He is using a jet Harrier engine as like a minigun, like to hold all the bullets to his minigun, and
literally the whole 9 yards. He is a walking fucking F-16.
Yeah, he's a mountain of a man, and but I took him out with mines for sure. Yeah. It's really hard because he will just turn around and shoot those out of there.
He's got hearing for days, man.
For those, yeah.
It's insane how like on point. He's like you when you're like in the prone position. He just swivels.
Right. Yeah. I found that Stingers work because he moves slower in the first phase of the fight, and you can really just get up behind him, stinger him, and then he's booking it. He is like scary, kind of like
he's a Terminator.
On your tail all the time. So yeah, that's when I'm like, okay, if I just lay claymores every 5 feet,
he's fucked.
He's
gonna run into one of them.
Yeah. I stepped on a couple of my own claymores.
Yeah, even with the land, like the fucking mine detector, I fucking accidentally ran into a few of them too. Like, I don't think Vulcan hit me a single time, but boy, did I beat myself up.
Yeah.
He's got some T1000 energy going there, man. A
Very
lot
cool.
of Terminator references in this game. Fucking railgun.
Yeah.
Snake lives in Alaska. All right.
Right. And Snake suggests he's good at eating
Yes.
muck.
Yeah. It's a mukbang.
Gotta be like whale intestine or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm 5-time champion of that. Yeah.
Earful all day, man. Fucking.
I think you're like you're taking steps back, like you're trying. Yeah.
Until you give up. It's like kind of like Mercy in a sense, but you're also like you're in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's a feat of strength if I ever heard one, but
He says it takes a lot of spiritual and physical strength to succeed.
I mean,
Earful.
well, he's the 5-time champ. Nobody else in his tribe has ears, but it's because he keeps winning. That's it. You don't get trophies, you get ears, bro.
But Raven's just talking a lot of gobbledygook here. He's like, I curse you, Cursey. Like, I'm just going to be watching you forever. And it's kind of cool. Ravens are slowly landing on him and just eating him apart while he's speaking with Snake. And by the end, he's just completely gone with this just pile of blood with this giant, massive minigun that he probably got from the wreckage of the Hind T or something.
Yeah. Foxhound's weird. Arguably the most normal person in Foxhound is the leader of Foxhound. Like liquid. But
as far as like the groups of bad guys, this one is not the weirdest at all.
That's true. That's very true.
There are much weirder ones to come. But yeah, then we just keep running into every camera ever after this. There's just a whole hallway of just camera.
Well, you know why though. What's on the other side of that hallway?
I think 3 cameras would have been fine, right?
It may have.
Right there.
You could have probably covered all your angles. the 2 pitfalls plus 3 cameras may have covered your faces.
And the one thing I do love here is when you throw that chaff, the cameras just do this weird, like they just keep spinning around, looking confused. It's like the John Travolta meme, but like security cameras. And the lights on them are really neat. They're They're changing different colors. They have a weird like fluorescent to them. I don't know what it is, but something about the little lights on those cameras. They make me happy. Yeah, and when you got like 20 of them, like fucking Kojima puts in this hallway, it looks cool.
There's a bit. And then the big reveal.
Yeah. The scale of it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did that work for you, Kayla? Was it impressive for you? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I know what it looks like.
Sure,
So it's my first time, but
the scale is something
the camera restriction helps with that too. Just having to
because you can't just look up at it like you could now in a game. It's like you start at the feet and then like the midsection.
That shit drives me crazy. Yeah. That's -10 on this fucking thing because of that.
Oh wow.
I will heads up. This is the last time where that's a big issue.
Yeah.
Good.
It's hardware.
I don't like movement in this.
It's
better.
There's a lot of flaws with it that they have to keep working. Like every kind of encounter is whatever they covered up the last time is now like a different problem is showing up in the next fight. And it's constantly like putting a finger in the leak kind of thing.
Hitting it with some flex tape.
Yeah. This is cavemen eating mud here. Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard stuff.
It is. It's hard to go back.
Physics do not exist in this fucking world.
That's because they were building the engines for it.
But yeah, we climb up Metal Gear. There's only one guard. That's just like really difficult to get around without him seeing you.
I just snap his neck every time. Snap his neck.
And we get all the way up to basically the control room, like the control for Metal Gear, and Snake's able to he notices Liquid and Ocelot are in this room, and they don't notice him.
They do,
right? But Snake thinks he's like, "Ooh, I'm so good at this. I'm hiding." Like, what?
Snake thinks he's good.
Yeah,
He's not that good though.
I didn't catch that. Yeah, it makes sense now that you guys all said that. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, there's a camera right there, apparently, just looking right at it's ridiculous. He's like, oh, okay.
Well, to get him to do what they want him to
right.
do. Snake thinks it's his benefit, but
Snake's not good at this, right?
Easy. Okay, so this whole entire mission that he's been on, literally, he's just been strung along. They let him get this far. They literally say
they set him up.
He's like, you got this far, and it's not just everybody thinks that they're the one doing it too.
Right.
It's like, oh, the bad guy's like, we let you get this far, and then later on you find out about Fox Die. The whole entire point of sending Snake in there you're not supposed to make it out.
Right.
He's a vector.
He's Homer Simpson's boxing career. He can take the most punches and outlast everyone else. And that is what they need. They need him to last this 18 hours.
That's his entire career too, though. Metal Gear 1, it's not Campbell, it's Big Boss who's your field commander. And, we're not going to disc dive part 1 and 2, are we?
No. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Big Boss was the big bad in the first game the whole time, and he's the one leading you. And the idea was just to kind of cover up everything that was going on. They didn't expect you to get as far as you did. Same thing with part 2. Part 2 is a little bit more convoluted. But Snake's a pawn, and there's a lot of at this point he's questioning everything that's being, sold to him. It's like, get real with me, Campbell. I was like, and then you figure out, Campbell's being hamstringed too. But
yeah,
it's that's kind of what it comes down to, because brass tacks, there's still a fucking Metal Gear here. And I mentioned this in the first episode we did, how horrifying this thing is, because it has the capability of launching a stealth nuclear missile from a fucking railgun.
Yeah.
But yeah, a nuke that's non-detectable by any modern technology. And holy shit, it's regardless of who's ham boning who, somebody's got to fucking do something at this point. And that's kind of, I think that's what Snake ties it down to. He's it's all right, I'm already here. I'm already this deep into this bullshit. I don't care that this guy's calling me his brother. I don't care about fucking, Ocelot's bullshit or Campbell.
Ask questions later kind of thing.
Yeah. It's let's just fucking get shit done and fucking move on.
Yeah. And doesn't Ocelot, Liquid changes his kind of plan. He's I'm not teaming up with Russia at this point.
He's kind of we're going to create the boss's dream.
Yeah.
It's from this day forward, we will call Shadow Moses out of heaven.
Yeah, he's basically Arnis claims there's not enough war.
That's all these motherfuckers claims, bro.
But he's trying to say because I'm imagining that wasn't there just always wars? All kind of what are you talking about, Liquid?
Just this game in context, it's not enough. But
yeah,
it does. It really does. This whole entire thing is just the bastardization of one dead person's dream or ideology, and but yeah, man, it does lay the groundwork. It's really cool.
It's the major theme of the whole franchise is what is a soldier? What are they worth? What are the,
Yeah.
who do you fight for? Does it matter? What is,
It's like, if, am I still your ally if I'm on the same side, on opposite sides of the battlefield? You got that whole entire rhetoric with you and Gray Fox.
yeah.
It's like you have that whole exposition dump, with Naomi. It's like, she's so taken aback when you mention that, like, he was your friend, even though you fought him in a landmine field, it's like, and he makes the point that he's like, it's like we were just on opposite sides during that conflict, people who fight the wars so that we can sleep at night, Yeah,
But
the tonal shift, the shit that they talk about, it's heavy, It's like, I don't think my brother was out fighting Metal Gears in fucking Afghanistan and Iraq, but he was getting blown up, semi-regularly by fucking homemade bombs while trying to, clear routes and shit, and watching and seeing children with, automatic weapons and shit, like. And this series talks a lot about that. Like, jump a little bit forward, we find out a little bit why fucking, Liquid is who he is, we talk about Naomi later on the elevator again, Gray Fox, we find out the lineage between, the two of them, she was a child whose family was taken away from her, and Gray Fox was the person who raised her. We find out a little bit more if we jump further, but yeah, there's a few things there. Like, do we find out about the big MacGuffin yet at this point? Yeah.
I think this is where Naomi's like, this is why the Darby Chief died. This is why Baker died.
Yeah.
Makes sense why Decoy Octopus died, because he took the blood from the DARPA chief, and she's basically set you up to fail from Jump Street. This was her plot. Like, for 2 years, she's thought of nothing but killing Snake after what was done to her. Her brother was a ghost.
And he was a secret project as well. He was the basis of the Human Genome Project.
Yeah.
They used all of the shit that they learned from fucking with him to create all the guys that you've literally just been murking along this mission. So, and then, Palkey thing. Metal Gear 2 did it first. Just saying.
So, this isn't, I remember, so you lose the PAL key. Like, I think, does Ocelot shoot it out of your hand, or you drop it?
Yeah.
And then it falls down to, like, the sewer grates at the bottom of Rex's feet or whatever. Did you guys have to deal with rats at all? I think it's like a coin flip of a rat being able to eat it. Because I remember...
If you're not quick enough.
Oh, so because I booked it right down there and grabbed it, but I was like, oh man, this is the annoying part where I have to find which rat.
I've had playthroughs where a rat gets it.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to find, you have to just kill rats until you
find the one that has it.
Find the one that has the PAL key in it. Yeah.
In Metal Gear 2, I believe a rat eats something that you need, and you need to draw it out with cheese.
Nope. That is completely different. They're not rats. They're hamsters.
You're right. Hamsters.
Yeah, there's Zanzibar field. Okay, so like they're instant kill. Like, I don't know what these hamsters be on in Zanzibar land, but they fuck you shit up, and you have to crawl. You have to crawl behind like a locker that has a secret like tunnel in it. Yeah, and it has essentially that codec disc that you get from Baker in this game. Well, this is the MacGuffin in that one. Mm-hmm. But the problem is it's being defended by these horrible Zanzibar hamsters that kill you if you touch them.
Yes, that's right.
You can't crawl through there because you can't shoot when you're prone in that game. So they have 3 types of rations in that game. One of them happened, and it's so weird beforehand. It's like they tell you everything that's in the ration throughout the game. Right. Like, you're probably just thinking like, oh man, maybe this one, helps me, get more life because it's got, extra cheese in it or some shit.
Right.
But one of them has cheese in it. So you have to stand outside the locker, and the little fuckers come out one by one, and you just shoot them, and then you can crawl through. And then there's like this fucking weird acid MacGuffin later that are like, oh, an ingredient in chocolate neutralizes the acid. And yes, so you have to have those rations equipped when you're walking over the acid. Otherwise, you just turn into a giant puddle.
Yeah.
Game was fucking nuts. I love that game so much, by the way. Before you get to this point, you talk to Naomi privately after she's been apprehended. Is this the point where she mentions that she altered something in the original programming for Fox Die? Like she almost like gets it out before they catch her again. Like that's an important thing. I just thought it needed to be mentioned before the next big. Why are some people dying? Why aren't some people dying?
Yeah. What triggers it?
Yes, but Metal Gear.
Unload.
How'd that work for you?
I don't like it.
This fight sucks.
Stupid. I fucking hate it.
First section sucks.
All of it.
Laser walls. Laser walls.
Did you find out how to not get shot by missiles?
No, because cover doesn't save you.
Chaff grenades.
In the first fight.
Because the first portion of the fight, the lid's covered, so everything's controlled through electronics, like visualized.
The ray dome.
So, the ray dome. So, like, first part, you could probably get through without getting hit. Play your time your grenades right, blast it right. Yada yada. That second part,
the worst lock on I've ever experienced. Lock on what? What the fuck?
I'm looking directly at the radome. Where is my reticle? And it's not. Yeah.
And even when it does, even when you wait for it to, and then it goes that way. Like, what the fuck did you lock on? What the fuck was I waiting for?
You've been spoiled, Kayla.
Yeah.
To deal with
it's called lock on. Like, don't even. No. That's why I just fucking blasted. Who needs to wait?
Sometimes you can get away with just fucking getting in there too without waiting for it to lock on. I did a few of those.
I do a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I like hung out underneath them a lot.
But. Okay, so Metal Gear sucks. Pushes shit in. Q.
When did Cyborg Ninja Frank Yeager have time to get a Mega Buster? Like, he just went to a shop
always had it, baby.
He went to a pay and spray and just like, fix me up here? Or
you always be carrying that thing.
Is he modular like that? Like, just.
I always imagine that like there's not much like actual organic like person left in that exoskeleton. Like there's probably part of a torso and a head, and the rest is probably just fucking strapped on so you can super fighting robot, take an arm off. This part's so anime. Like he gets his arm just cut off.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
It's pretty sick. Yeah,
did you guys love seeing that unskippable cutscene
multiple times? Absolutely,
so many times. I can't do it.
No,
I can't do it.
Can't do it. Payoff. Like I'm telling you guys, Dragon Ball Z memes they have a whole new definition for Jackie now. We're getting like Cell just went perfect for him, and like the scene where it's like, when I've gotten a full 8 hours of sleep, it's like perfection. Like,
right.
She gets it now. Okay. Yeah. So there's a bit of an exposition beforehand. If you talk to Otacon about how to take down Rex, he talks about like everything's controlled from inside this heavily armored area through, radio detection, whatever.
Virtual reality.
Yeah. But if it's destroyed, there's a failsafe where you can open it up and see it from the actual like driving cabin. And he was like, "Oh, you built in a failsafe for it." And he was like, "I like to think of it as a character flaw."
Yeah.
But
the design of Rex it makes weird T-Rex noises too, and it's like it makes sense because Otacon's such a nerd, and he probably thought that would be so neat to make it growl and scream like.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It's intimidating. If I saw that on a street, it'd be pretty intimidating. But yeah. So then you fight it the second time, and boy, howdy, is it different than the
He has
first
to use
time?
his own eyesight to. Yeah, he can't use the tracking system, and I think the fight is much harder on the second phase.
So no, so when I finally found out, like, okay, so Kayla's first strategy was probably the strategy for the second phase, because like I got up in them guts, he couldn't hit me with any of the missiles. You take the lasers and you take the like little fires and stuff, but I can take that. Getting hit by the missiles, you're doing backflips, you can't get close. There's not enough shit to hide behind. So I just got up in them guts. I'm like blah blah, and
I would try, but man, those missiles do not like to go where you think they're going,
or they're locked on.
No. See, Kayla's method also works really well in this part too. Like, you just don't wait for them shits to lock on. You just fucking
I tried that too. Trust me, it just wasn't getting the luck, I guess, because I had to do the fight over and over again.
Oh, I did too.
I had all of these memories flush back to me where I would do the same thing, like try to come up with the same strategies that I did back then. I even thought I was slick by saving at the beginning of the second phase and trying to reload that. And no, it kicks you all the way back to the very beginning of the phase.
So good at that first part, bro.
Yeah, so did I. And you have to watch that cutscene so often. One good thing that came out of it, because you're constantly switching from chaff to body armor to rations back to your stinger missiles. And that when you open your menu, it freezes. So I froze the screen on a chaff grenade, and I found out what caused, like, the game removes all the textures.
Yeah.
From everything when a chaff goes off. So I got like this cool screenshot of Snake just no text, just looking like circles. Metal Gear just looks like cute, like boxes. All of the walls and things are just basic stuff, and it was really cool.
Sounds wild.
But what just an awful fucking fight. Those missiles fucking suck.
Yeah. But Rex is awesome.
I just never get a good way of how to dodge those missiles. Like, it seemed like if I was close in, they would still make a hairpin turn and still just wreck the shit out of me.
The laser would get you no matter, like...
Right, if
you were underneath that motherfucker, it gotcha.
And he'll laser...
You gotta take your lump somewhere.
And he can stun lock you where... As soon as you get up, he's lasering once again. Like, I got hit by like 4 lasers in a row, and then you're just dead. And I found myself when I finally beat him, it was like, he's got a chip of damage left. I have no rations. I have a chip of damage left, and I had to just do a quick shot and got lucky and nailed him, because missiles are coming at me, and I just hope that I'm triggering this cutscene before these missiles hit me, and I got through it, and God, it's just like the difficulty spike just comes out of nowhere.
It does. It really does.
Because none of these other fights were this hard. And
fucking Metal Gear you fight in part 2 is not this hard. Fucking
I learned that if you're down, the machine gun doesn't hurt you. So you can wait it out. You can take them bullets.
I love getting shot by the machine gun because it's like a bee sting compared to a fucking missile. They take out half, even with the body armor. It takes out ridiculous amounts of health.
I know.
I found trying to get him close to the wall was like my best strategy, because those missiles would just clip the wall. They would not even have a chance.
Or you could hide. Sometimes you wouldn't know where you were.
I feel like the first time I stopped, I tried not to think about it too much. Like, all right, I need to shift my strategy. Like, where I just literally just fuck it, I'm just gonna try shooting at this thing.
Yeah.
Like, the position that I was in, I don't know if it was just the perfect spot, but I planted my feet and I just fucking unloaded on that. It took a fucking forever to get to that point, though. Yeah. Rex, very cool.
Yes.
I love the reveal, the fight. To me, this the best use of the fucking, the music for the boss fights. it's a fucking, I've said it a million times. It's a movie.
Yeah, we see the RoboCop influence with Rex. I think he's just Ed 209 or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's huge and
it's sick, dude. Like you come up on the fucking elevator, the full reveal, fucking holy shit, I gotta fight this thing. Like that part's cool.
The unforgivingness of kicking you all the way back to that first phase, and then the extra poke in the eye with that cutscene in the middle that just like, just let me shoot this fucking thing or let me skip this fucking cutscene. Yeah. Like, God. And that's another thing. Like, Snake, you're an idiot. Shoot. The Liquid's right there. Like, shoot the motherfucker. He's going to kill your friend. Like,
I know.
You're not doing anything. Yeah. Like,
sorry, man.
Come on, Snake. Jesus Christ.
Les enfants terribles.
Hats off to Cam Clark, voice of Liquid. He is hamming it up. I think he gives the best performance in the game.
He dials it up, man. Like what is the rewatchables award for this? The
overacting award.
Yeah. Oh man, fucking ratchets it up to 11.
Yeah, they knew and they let it happen. Yeah, for sure. And he just bursts it all out there, and the two of you are going to have a timed shirtless fight to the death.
Hell yeah!
On top of a crippled Metal Gear, and it's the coolest thing.
This series is so synonymous with this set piece. Like. Again. Yep. And again. And it happened before. So, can we talk about my Vulcan fight in Metal Gear Solid 3 that ended on 1 second?
We'll get there.
I practically made this scene.
I almost had that because I was getting down to like 20 seconds and I'm like, okay, I'm going to kill this guy. But Liquid's whole AI really changes dynamically.
Holy shit, does it change?
It really caught me because the first time I'm fighting him, I'm like, I'm whipping his ass. I have so much health. And then
talk about his robo tackles.
His tackles are rough. He starts just mixing in the 2-piece combo.
Yep. The 2-piece and a biscuit.
And then next thing you know, your health is lower than his, and he's going to kill you. And it's like, fuck, what happened here?
He does way more.
And
there's like a little trick you could do. You can stun lock him, but my God, it's gonna take fucking forever to kill him that way.
Yeah, if you really know how to time his iframes, you can, but I wasn't trying to do that. This guy gets iframes off of everything, and you do not. Because you can eventually start knocking him off the side of the Metal Gear, and when he gets,
it takes like 20 seconds.
He gets like 5 seconds of fucking iframes, and you're just like, all right, dude, like
it's a waste of time. Yep.
Yeah, you're wasting time, and by the time I got him, I had like a minute left over. I was fine on time because I had to fight him like 5 times.
Same here.
Yeah. And then after this cool moment and all this cool lore is coming out, I just thought we get a really weird scene with when you save Meryl. That just
super weird. Kojima not good at relationship shit.
Yeah, and it's you're gonna be cold out there. Like,
I'd argue this is the most cringy.
Yeah,
he probably gets in the game. Like,
she's lost so much blood. She's been in so much. Like, she's probably hasn't been in forever. Like, yeah, like it's just a weird moment. That's where you get like the.
Can we talk about how many times Liquid Snake's been blown up at this point?
Oh, Liquid is.
You want to talk about plot armor? Like that's it. He is literally the T-1000. Oh, yeah, he's T-800, T-1000, in bits and pieces. But he's the bad Terminator. He is always coming at you.
So at this point, we get news that the government is trying to cover all of this up, even though Metal Gear has been defeated. They're going to do an airstrike and take out all of Shadow Moses.
It's more
Meryl
than
and Snake
just
are trying to get out.
It's more than just covering up Metal Gear. It's the Human Genome Project.
Sure, yeah.
That says the reason Snake was sent in the first place with Fox Die to be a vector to kill all these guys, to wipe away the smudge that would eventually come out, Rex or not. There was a lot of things off the books that they were trying to cover up. So it turns out the real bad guy was the American government.
Who would have guessed?
No.
But yeah, that's the reason, we find out that Meryl was placed on that base on purpose in order to fucking rope Campbell into stringing you along on this mission. So circle that square.
The worst turret section ever.
Wow.
Oh my god, this part sucked. Can we just talk about, like, story-wise, best part of the game? Gameplay-wise, worst part of the game?
I know. Did you guys get that extra ration at the beginning?
Yes.
You can grab? Yeah.
But I didn't get it until the first time I died.
Oh, okay.
It's like, man, if I just had, like, 2 bits more of life, I could have got through that tunnel.
Yeah. I definitely needed it. Yeah, for sure.
I made the cardinal sin too of not realizing that barrels were explosive like they are in all video games the first time. So I got shot like 8 times before I got through that first gate. So I thought I was like, oh, I got to kill all these guys before I go through. I'm like, nope, just blow up the barrels. Fucking
Yeah. So
big hazard
I
sign.
shot those barrels, baby. And then, of course, a Jeep
Swing.
rams into you, and it's Liquid is back again.
Brother!
And yeah, you're basically just, you can only move this turret on one axis. So you're just trying to keep up with him and hoping to hit him each time his iframes run out. And
yo, he's like a Hajimino Ippo like bag. Like he's fucking dodging bullets.
Oh yeah, he is swerving left and right, no matter what.
Dempsey rolling bullets.
Constantly fire at you perfectly with one hand while piloting this Jeep. I got really lucky when he pulls up like side by side with you and you're passing through all these pillars, and I was able to just get the gun to lock onto that one spot, and constantly he couldn't get me at all.
Nice.
Through that portion, because I think if I wasn't perfect in that area, I would have failed, because I barely had enough life at the end of the tunnel where we crash and we get one final view of Liquid coming back from destruction.
Got him.
Look, man. Okay, so there's a Bruce Willis movie. Mike knows it. He hates it. It's called The Hudson Hawk. And one of the guys ends up going over the cliff in a taxi at one scene in the movie, and he survives somehow. And they explain in this most convoluted like way. It's like, what about all the fire? It's like, the sprinkler system. It's like, but you fell down a cliff. Airbags, baby. That's how I felt.
Chris, baby.
Airbags, baby. It's like, but you survived. It's like, but the explosion in the Hind D. Eject the sea. Airbags, baby.
But it seems like Liquid he's gonna kill you. He's walking fine. He's got his machine gun, and all of a sudden, Fox Die takes effect.
Fox.
And takes out Liquid. And then then that leads to a really weird conversation with Naomi, I think, where Snake's like, how much time do I have? And Naomi's just not giving him an answer.
Yeah, he's not
like,
single.
Whenever it's your time, and
it's your time to go, baby.
But how much? How much time is that?
Just live your life.
And this is where the other kind of main theme is of just the genes part of it. Because I think Kojima has a thing of like memes, genes, and scenes, or something like that.
Yeah.
I love scenes.
Cream in her cream pants. Ants.
Where Naomi, you get just a lot of voiceover from Naomi just telling Snake like, hey, just because you have the genes of this soldier and you think that your destiny is laid out for you, that no, you don't have to do this. You don't have to keep trying to redo the sins of our fathers, kind of thing. And I think that's kind of neat. It's definitely gets hit over the head way more later on in the series.
Oh yeah,
and I remembered the whole ending being different because I definitely had Otacon more often than I had Meryl. This is only like the second time that I've finished the game with Meryl being alive. That ending is way, I think, that scene after the fist fight, because it's just kind of Snake dealing with the fact that he couldn't save her instead of having this awkward conversation with
it's very awkward.
And I remember the Otacon one just being a lot more of them talking at the end. I could be wrong, but it was a lot of Otacon just kind of
don't remember
more and more. Yeah, with the scene, they show like this clips of polar bears and fucking all caribou and shit like that.
Given the start of Metal Gear Solid 2, it kind of makes a little bit more sense that you would save Otacon too.
Yes, they like
double canonized it.
Yeah. It is interesting going forward,
because if you save Meryl, then the airstrike's called off. Colonel gets control of the mission again. The president.
The government puts all the blame on the Secretary of Defense, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which then was working alone.
We find out
even the president knew about this.
A nice way to pin all of that on one person.
The low.
After the snowmobile ride and all that, we get like a mid-credit kind of scene between Ocelot and
Mr. President.
Yeah, I got the files. Yeah, he's explaining that he was a double agent the whole time. He was a triple agent. Yeah. We lose digits for that the president and Ocelot were behind this whole kind of thing. And Ocelot says that, and he does.
And I forgot about that shit because I haven't played this game in like 20 years.
Yeah,
but
I never knew that he.
It's like, oh my god, it was all there.
Solidus? I don't remember that at all.
I didn't remember him calling him Solidus. I remember the Mr. President thing, like vaguely, but I was like, holy shit! Like it was always there. It was.
God, they just throw so much stuff at the end there. It is really tough to bottle it all and keep it.
Playing this game in a vacuum, though, like, that shit, like, I don't know, man. Like all those revelations that we got, like, spoon-fed to us as we continue to walk down this rabbit hole. Like, looking back on it, it's really cool. But yeah, like trying to do that with just like this game, like I'm like, okay.
I know. We kind of spoke. Well, I did about how much Kojima had planned this out, this whole franchise. Because this game, I did not remember the ending. Kind of just really, this could have been it. Like they kind of, our characters have their ride off into the sunset moment. You think, you assume Meryl and Snake are going to start a family or something, like I don't know, like they're going to try to put all of this behind them.
He was going to start an orgy or something.
Hell yeah!
And I wonder.
He's got a nice cane.
Because I know Eric said Police Knots was not a hit. I don't know that he had one before. Metal Gear might have been a big hit, the original. Yeah, so maybe he didn't know if this was going to keep going, and he tried to
left it open-ended,
leave it more clean cut.
Some of the things he had to circle back on in this series. So I mean, we won't have the Metal Gear Solid 5 conversation, but like, some of the shit that happens like in this whole entire series, it makes you think like how much was written down beforehand or how open-ended he left it for himself. because fucking like this series perpetually just jumps the shark. Like it's a habitual shark jumper, like with some of these like revelations you get throughout the series.
Yeah, for sure.
So now, Kayla, I mean, we're like an hour plus into this conversation and everything else, and well, really like multiple hours into this conversation if you count part one. What's the verdict? I mean, like, obviously this is a 25-year-old game, and there's a lot of cringe as we've mentioned, but what's your feeling of just like the entire thing, the entire package of where it leaves you?
Hurt me more.
I think number one, it's hard to play.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me to.
Wasn't expecting much from gameplay.
Right, but it's just hard. Like it makes it very difficult for me. Not that even like, oh, it's cool, but it just, it just is really hard for me.
And I don't think that's something that is like, oh, well, nowadays it's hard. It was hard then.
It was hard then,
like,
too.
Really hard to wrap our heads around. At least me,
I think,
like, of how to play it for
I
sure.
think I mentioned it in the first one, but I think a lot of it, like kind of out the gate, like the button configuration was more mapped for like the Japanese culture,
Right.
like how they did their game mapping. So
And
that
I
was
can get
already
around
hard.
That.
Yeah.
But it's not only like the mechanics of the buttons and stuff. It's like the whole setup of a lot of the stuff is a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
I like
cumbersome.
the mystery. I like the twisty turny. I like all that stuff. I obviously
Okay.
don't like the cringeworthy stuff. I wish there were no romance in this and it'd be good.
Okay.
Romance said as a very blanket term.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can get that from being just a different, it's comes from a different culture, but I
I
don't
think Kojima
like
is
it.
just a little cringy.
I'm not down for that.
Kayla, if you had to bet, do you think the cutscenes are going to get shorter, stay the same, or get much longer?
I would guess that they get longer because it seems like he wants to tell stories. Like it's his world that is created.
Yep.
I just don't like sections of it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
What a story, though.
Okay, cool. Like, so I guess to piggyback off that a little bit, how about we've got the casting news that Oscar Isaac is going to be Snake in the movie. We've had that for a little while. Now, having played through it, what do you feel about his casting? What do you feel about the movie in general? Does this story make a good movie, you think?
I'm less interested in the movie
Oh, okay.
now that I have seen this.
Gotcha.
I think that transferring that media will be very hard. Like,
I thank you. I agree.
I think especially with so much of not only the, again, blanket term for romance, like a lot of even the other stuff, the interactions that they just have about tactics and battling are going to be very hard to put into cinema media.
About 70% of this game is codec.
They're going to have to change so much to make it a movie, I think.
There's a lot of talking. Like for a game that's supposed to be, tactical espionage, but there's huge action sections, but like there's a shit ton of exposition in this game alone. Like just this one. Like transferring that into a film medium, I just fucking it's way too much to do.
We're not going to have the muff and all of that weird muff, all the extra stuff. I think you can make a script and just keep all of that, the extra
stuff we like.
Well,
right. I think it's just going to have to be very different, and they're going to have to figure out a way to.
If they make,
because it's not that long, really, than when you take out so much stuff, which is great for a movie. Movies don't need to be super long. Things can be little short clips of him having 18 hours to get down in here and get the job done. Like I would like it to be that, and hopefully I don't have faith in anything trimming the fat anymore. But
I think this is the one you can make a movie out of.
The other one's absolutely not. But I know. Yeah, the way modern cinema. Not a huge fan of it, by the way. They fucking. I don't want a 3-hour long Metal Gear Solid movie.
No.
I think if you're gonna make it, it has to be an action movie. You need to fucking go back to those 80s genre style. We already know it's campy. We already know it's over the top. Fucking pour some cheese on it. Give us I'm not stupid. I know what I'm consuming. Just give it to me. Fucking let's go. Fucking John McClane jumping off the side of a building.
I want to feel the pulse throughout the.
I want to feel the intensity of these battles. I think
that's the way they would do it.
Yeah, they're never gonna have Snake. Oh, I got to go back to the storage build.
That's just never gonna happen.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
They'll dial that down to something it's one key card. Somebody lied to them. Yada yada, shit like that. But fucking. I just saw the new Trolls movie yesterday. Jackie's niece, it's one of her first movies. She loves Trolls. But I think my favorite part of seeing that movie was that it was 93 minutes long.
Right.
And it's man, when's the last time somebody's done that? Or John Wick needs to be a movie about a guy just killing people is almost 3 hours. I don't know, man.
I think that's the kind of mold that this series would have to just. There's really only 4 scenes in the movie, and they're all just kind of big kind of set pieces. We have to maybe I don't the Bourne movies do a good job of him contacting other people and still kind of
moving
right where he's still in the action, but we're still getting kind of lore or any
play.
All the stuff
I think that would work good with Kodak shit, especially for example the scene where Meryl gets found while you're on Kodak with her and she does the the head shift to see what's going on shit like that,
right? Where we could actually see where Meryl is, where Otacon is hiding.
He's got quite a rogues gallery to fight, though.
I don't know that you have to keep the whole entirety of Foxhound. You get rid of Decoy Octopus.
Don't need him.
Whole thing.
Well, you don't even fight Decoy Octopus.
But there is.
You kind of need the DARPA chief thing.
I think Fox Die is enough to just work around that. What happens with the DARPA chief? What happens with Baker?
You gotta have Cyborg Ninja.
Yeah. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
So is Oscar Isaac the right choice for Snake then in this movie that's never going to get made?
I like Oscar Isaac.
I do too.
I like Oscar Isaac.
And you already spilled the beans on who you wanted to be Liquid.
I mean, I've already seen Tom Hiddleston do this, so I think he's got it in his wheelhouse.
I think that's a good
point. I think that's spot on for the character. Yeah.
You also asked me in your question, but we got crazy distracted into the movie roles. I do want to see more. I am intrigued by the mystery, the double crossing, the setups, and that stuff. All is the interesting stuff. That's the interesting stuff.
Oh man.
But you guys are telling me that the stuff I don't like gets lesser and better. So
it does. Playing
can handle some cringe. I obviously love Resident Evil and stuff, but this
playing
is more.
playing this game and then playing part 2 immediately afterwards. All the little like lore things that they drop like in this game, like it just it hits a little different, man. Like I'm like holy shit. And I'm like, it's like as a kid I never saw it, like later on, like I'd either like watch a video to kind of like fill in the blanks or, so it took me a while to like come around to this series as a whole. I loved Metal Gear Solid 1. I loved Metal Gear Solid 2. They were too little far apart for me to kind of like, and then part 3 came out and I was like, what? I'm, somebody else, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of had to get like hamstringed into playing that. One of the best things that Josh ever kind of forced me to do in my life was play Metal Gear Solid 3 in the game room at college. One, because now it's my favorite Metal Gear game, but two, like it was just a hell of an experience. But it's like, and then honestly, like I didn't really play 4. I just fucking watched videos and stuff on it because I was like in that weird heydays of like it's PlayStation 3 was this like weird enigmatic like kind of like system, and I found myself questioning, I'm like, am I gonna buy this expensive system just to play this one game? And there really wasn't much left for me. And then by the time I finally got one, I was like, well, I'm kind of over this. And then 5 came out, and I was like, God damn it. Like, pull me back in.
Well, I'm wondering if we'll be able to play 4.
That's what I was going to ask, too, of like, what is... Are they coming out with the volume 2?
They've data mined kind of that volume 2 will exist with 4, Peace Walker, and 5. And hopefully that happens. Hopefully it happens relatively soon. Because I know they're going to, they have Delta in the works, the remake of 3. And I guess this leading us along, just something to put out there to keep us sustained until
we got to get past 2 before the remake of 3 comes out.
Well, that seems like that's going to be a while.
It'll be a while out, yeah.
I think we could potentially finish all of these before
that happens. Yeah. Part 3 is so good.
Yeah,
I love part 3. You still a 2 guy, Mike? Is that still a number 1?
I'm eager to see how I feel after all this.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of leaning towards 5 being my favorite.
Was it the skateboarding?
2 is just I just played it over and over. I really liked all of the extra toolkit stuff that you get. It just plays so much better than that first one. It does.
It's amazing what happened between PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. I remember thinking that like it could never get better than this. Boy, was I wrong, but
yeah, and I really think the whole top-down Soliton radar thing with the ability, the more stuff you can do in that second one works really well.
Yeah.
I played 3 originally before Subsistence, before all the changes, and that game's tough without the behind the back, because you don't have a radar like you do in 1 and 2.
No, you don't.
You're just getting found all the time with that top-down style, and I think 2 is where that just kind of works perfectly, I think. And I'm eager to see if I still love it as much as I did back then. I haven't played it in a long time.
I mean, that's that, right? We got it. We got Metal Gear Solid. We have dove into that disc, yeah?
I think we covered it. I'm bring on 2.
Man, I'm amazed at how much you guys have to say about this. It's crazy.
Gameplay sucks. Story's good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't even get us started on 2.
And I mean, we really did kind of skim over a lot.
We did.
Right.
Eric
would be like, get your thoughts together. And I'm like, okay, I got them. Yes. You guys got some thoughts.
So many thoughts. Like, Kayla, I think one of the main reasons you know, I was an alcoholic was because I just can't get rid of some of these like memories. Like,
PTSD that you get from it.
there was no amount of booze that was gonna like turn that switch off.
Oh no.
I mean, I really did fall in love with this franchise just because it was so different. Like Mario didn't have lore like that.
Yeah.
You know, games
Right.
didn't have characters and villains and history
Voice acting and
Yeah.
like good voice acting.
The
Yeah.
history, man, like I think Mike nails it on the head when the series as a whole, like the through threads, how everything is so interconnected, how the end is the beginning, is the end, is the all that shit, like is and so masterfully executed. Even when you think like come on, man, like you kind of shoehorned that in, but even still, like you managed to bring that back the fuck around, and like you filled in that one hole that's been there since the beginning of the series, and fucking like it's like, you know, bravo, like holy shit.
Holy shit, indeed. And I think that's a good place to leave it. It's episode 147 of the Machine of Nonsense. We dove deep into the disc, Metal Gear Solid, the first in the series, maybe not the last that we will cover in the disc dive. Thanks everyone for listening. And if you got any comments, concerns, questions, anything that we didn't get to, funny Easter eggs or something that we might have missed, let us know. Let us hear it either on social media or machineofnonsense@gmail.com. I'm sure we probably got everything, but we maybe didn't get everything. So let us know if we missed anything, and we'll add it to a future episode. But episode 147 is in the books. That's it. We're getting out of here, and we're saying...
Snap.
The lolly lule low.
Bye.
Mike. Hi. Live
We
your
said
life,
it.
Mike.
We said it all.